Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about Stargardt disease. It is something that I've lived with for a while. So I want to share with you how I see what my life is like with it and what I want to tell people who are curious about Stargardt disease, or maybe you have Stargardt disease. So let's get into the video. I have been a little bit more outspoken about my disease for a long time. I was diagnosed at 14 years old. I am now 30, so for a long time it was just part of my story. I didn't share it a whole lot. I didn't hide it. I just didn't shout it from the rooftop. But I have been sharing a lot more of that part of my life online, and I have had people in my personal life ask me, hey, I would like to learn more about Stargardt disease. What is it? Like, can you share with me how I can be better as a person who knows somebody with Stargardt disease? What are some things that you would like to see from me? So I thought this is a really cool opportunity to talk a little bit about that. Now, if you actually Google Stargardt disease and images online, I've done it before, I've used them in some of my videos on TikTok, a lot of them come up with this like black dot in the center of your vision. I'll throw up a picture on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about right now. This is how it's represented. So if you don't know anything about Stargardt disease, or maybe you're diagnosed with Stargardt disease and you're wondering, am I gonna see like this? This is not at all how I see. It is a representation of what is happening because Stargardt disease affects the central vision. So your central vision is decreasing, or there are blind spots there, but the brain is so smart that the way I could describe it is that your mind kind of fills in those spots. So for me personally, I would love to know if anyone with maybe a more progressed version of Stargardt disease does see those black dots, but from the Stargardt friends that I have, that's not how I see, and that's not how a lot of them see. So if you are somebody with Stargardt disease who does see an actual black spot, please let me know in the description box. I would love to learn that, but from my perspective, it's just not exactly accurate, but it's a close way to describe it. Stargardt disease is a form of macular degeneration. It affects your central vision and it slowly progresses over time. So I would describe my vision as pretty stable. I've been able to kind of go through life and it would just progress slowly. Initially, when it first came on, there was a very sharp decline, which is kind of what brought our attention to it. Like, how could I be seeing everything one day and then the next day not be able to get my glasses prescription? Up to 2020, they were confused about that. So there was that sharp first little like downfall of the vision, and then from then on it's been pretty steady, and I will only notice changes in my vision over time where it's like, oh, okay, that's a little bit harder than it used to be. But I would say it kind of steps you into it really easily. If you are somebody who was just diagnosed with Stargardt disease, what I really want to tell you is that your life is still going to be great. If you just found out, I know that it can be kind of scary. Like, you don't know what you're going into, you don't know what to expect, you're looking for answers. You know, you're wondering if you're gonna have to give up your dreams, you're wondering how your life is gonna change. And I just really, really wanna encourage you right now, because I have lived such a full, happy, fulfilled, goal-oriented, dream-chasing life, and I've had Stargardt for most of it. When I was 14 and diagnosed with it, I was still young and naive, so I didn't fully understand what that actually means or what that meant at the time. And part of me is super thankful for that, because I just kept living. I just kept moving forward. I kept my life going. I kept doing the things I wanted to do. And I also had parents who did not treat me any differently. I have one sister that was diagnosed with it later in life, but at the time I was the only child that was visually impaired, and my other sisters saw 20/20. So they didn't treat me any differently. They didn't treat me like I needed, you know, special gloves to handle me, like I was gentle and fragile. They helped me get the things that I needed. They helped me with the tools that I needed at that time. But they also would give me a little bit of tough love. If I would feel sorry for myself, they'd be like, you can do anything you want to do. Don't let that stop you. So that really kind of set forward the way that I moved forward in my life with Stargardt disease. And I would really encourage you not to ignore any sad, grieving feelings, because I think going into that, it's a huge life change that I can't imagine, because mine happened at such a young age. So if you're wherever you're at in your life, like, it's different for each person. So feel very validated in the feelings that you're feeling. But I would really encourage you to find hope and know that everything moving forward is going to be, positive. You can make it be positive, and your life is going to have so much meaning, has so much meaning, and you can still do so much. It breaks my heart when people are so discouraged when they first get it, because I'm like, man, I wish you could just know that, like, it's going to be okay and life is great. You just are going to do things a little bit differently. You're going to be a little bit more creative. You're going to find a different path, but it's going to be yours, and it's going to be your journey, and it's what makes you special. And just share that story with people, because people are going to be really inspired by you in so many ways. So keep following your dreams, keep doing that, and yeah, just it's a good life. So for people who know people with Stargardt disease, one thing that I would say is that there are some really great ways that you can help them. And I would say the number one thing is just have open communication with them. I love when people are like, hey, what are some things that could help you? How could I make this easier for you? And like, just having that little level of respect to ask them about that. I think that that is so cool in a great way. And especially since people with Stargardt disease have different areas like of progression, so everyone's needs are different and everyone's opinions on it are different. So mine might be different than somebody else's. For me, one of the things I really like is that people understand that I can't recognize them from far away. So I kind of like them to be like, hey, Jessica, it's Steve. That's my husband's name, so I obviously would know him pretty quickly. But especially, out in public, then you're putting a name to a face, and just kind of, that's something that definitely helps me. One of the things that I really like is that if there's like subtitles on something, if I'm out in a movie, or if there's something that's far away, people just asking me like, hey, would you like me to read that to you? Do you need any help with this? Just kind of like taking that step to ask me is so cool. Some of my close friends and family just do it automatically, and I think that's so amazing. And that's just makes life super easy for me. But yeah, there's a ton of different ways that you can do that. So just ask the person that that has Stargardt disease what they would like, how they would, how they could be helped. And maybe if they don't have the answer right away, maybe they'll learn that. But I know that they will appreciate the fact that you cared enough to ask and did that for them. I've recorded some other videos about Stargardt disease, kind of some of the things that I see, like my experience, my story, so I will have those linked in the description box below. But I just would like to bring a little bit more awareness to Stargardt disease, to the blind community in general, to blind people. One of the areas that I think that society could improve in is treating blind people a little bit more equally. And what I mean by that is not having pity on them just because they can't see. Blindness is not a bad thing. Not all blindness is curable. Like, we have a disease, we're trying to raise funds for that, but there are some people that cannot have their blindness cured. And it's really important to still treat those people as equals. And also, so not having pity, not feeling bad for them, being kind, but like not feeling like there's a pity case or a sad story or anything like that, because they're not. They're super capable, amazing human beings that want the same things that everyone else does. So that would be one thing. And then also not underestimating blind people. A lot of people, if you tell them, oh, I'm blind, they just think you can't do anything. Like, I will perform some simple task and people will be shocked that I did it. So I would say, even though, like, maybe just adjusting some of your expectations and having higher expectations of what blind people can do. So less pity and higher expectations of our abilities, because blind people are so capable, and it's actually crazy if you look into stories of what blind people have accomplished and can do. So just less pity and higher expectations of capabilities. And I think that that would be something that would really help new people too, especially if you're diagnosed with blindness. hopefully society's view of blind people are less sad and thinking, oh, that's a sad thing, and just, okay, they live life a little bit differently, you know? So that would be something that I hope for, and I'm trying to bring awareness to. If you're blind, I would love to hear your opinion on that subject. What are some things that you think that we could do to better the blind community, to better society's views on blind people, or how they could help us more, how they could be better for the community, and as a whole, collectively together. So that would be great. I would love to hear your opinions on this. This video, all of this is just my opinions, my ramblings, and my thoughts on my situation. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Talk to more blind people, talk to more people with Stargardt disease, learn their stories. But this is my little glimpse into Stargardt disease. Another thing that I think would be really important to talk about is giving people time to accomplish a task. So what do I mean by that? My husband is the world's most helpful person, and he always wants to help me. He wants to make things easier for me. He wants to do things for me. But I always have to stop him, or sometimes I'll stop him and be like, hey, let me do this. Let me take my time to do this. Yes, you could do it faster, but I would like to be able to do this. So just not always assuming that people need help and jumping in and doing it, just communicating, asking if they need help, but if they want to do it, allow them to do it. Allow them that little bit of extra time, or, you know, yes, we might have to zoom in and it takes a little longer to do this and that, X, Y, and Z, but just giving them the respect to have that time to do it and allow them to be independent and do those things. I did want to say one little closing thing about the shirt I am wearing. This is from our brand Macular Adventure Co. I don't know how much is in the screen right now, but I'm gonna put a picture of it up on the screen. We actually started a brand, it's called Macular Adventure Co. And the money that we make from those sales goes towards benefiting the blind community. We just did our first donation to the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and we were able to donate $500, and that was so amazing. We're so fired up. We're going to be restocking some items soon and have new items coming out very soon. So if you're interested, you guys can check that out. Every single time we donate, we'll be doing it to something different, to a different charity. So this time was the Foundation Fighting Blindness. They do a lot of research in inherited retinal diseases and medical advancements in that, like Stargardt disease, for example. So they have a lot of clinical trials that they're funding and some really cool work there. But we also would like to donate to help in other areas, like whether it be for guide dogs, for technology, for just different things. So if you have any great ideas of some cool places to donate to, leave that in the comment section below as well, and you can connect with us. We actually have a newsletter. When you go to the website, or if you scroll to the bottom, you can sign up for our newsletter, and that will keep you in the loop of what we have going on, how to get involved. I've actually had quite a few people already reach out about how to get more involved with Macular, and so we really want that to be a thing. We want this to be something that everyone can come together and have a little part in. So while we navigate that and figure out what that looks like, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, you can do that, and that way we can email you out when those opportunities are available, because if we work together, we're going to be able to accomplish so much more. So we would love to be able to really build the community together with that. So anyways, all that information is in the description box below. But if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel, come back for more. I do all sorts of things on this channel. I am a blind girl, but I'm also into fitness, running a business, doing all sorts of traveling and random stuff. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please subscribe, come back. You can hit the bell and get notified when I post. But anyways, I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. Go do something that makes you happy, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay, say bye.
Bye, subscribe.
Survive.